Okay, I want to go through the steps for the exam, today's assignment. So we're going to start this exam. And we'll see that we get 5 retries at this. Should not take that much. We've got 30 steps in here. So first one, we're going to create a new select query design using the workshop table. So when I come up here to create, I want query design, and I want the workshop table. And I need to move this over so I can hit add there. Close that. Now, when the fields I want is workshop name, workshop date. Oh, let's see. Workshop name, workshop date. I don't see. Oh, there it is. And then cost per person. And then run the query. And now I need to save the query, so I hit save. And we name that workshop listing. Okay, that one was correct. Going on. With the workshop attendance type query open in dash, which it is, resize participant fields so that all fields are. So this participant field, all they're saying is just drag this down so you can see all the field names. In the query design view, add ascending sort order to the workshop field of the workshop by type query. So I go workshop type field down here, and go across, find workshop type, and I want to click here in the sort box and make this ascending. Now, it wants to display the query in datasheet view, so I just click datasheet view. In the query design view of the workshop by type query, add the max capacity field from the workshop table as the last field in the query. So, max capacity, I just double click it and added it as the last one in the. In query design view of the workshop by type query, delete the max capacity field. So we want to get this little black arrow, click that, and then we can press our delete key on our keyboard. Or we could have right clicked and deleted it. Add the criteria of the workshop tenants type query to select only those records where the workshop type field value is closet. So what they're saying is we're going to go in this criteria, shop type, or type closet. Okay. We run the query. In the workshop by type query, switch to the query design view. Easy enough, just click on the pencil. In the design view of the workshop attendance by type query, add criteria to the last name field, select values that start with G. So we come to the last name field, we come down to criteria. Now if we typed only a G, it wouldn't return anything because there's no names that just have the letter G, but we have to put an asterisk behind that. So we're saying we don't care what letters behind it, but it's all the ones that start with a G, and we run that. And there was 3 of them. In the design view of the workshop attendance by type query, create a parameter query with the parameter criterion, enter room in the workshop type field. So in the workshop type field, we come down here to criteria, and we have to put these brackets, and then we put inside what to say. So we're going to have the person say enter a room. So we put brackets. So when we run this, it's going to ask this question. Oh, got to retry that again. I screwed that up. So in the workshop attendance by type. So in the workshop attendance by type query, create a parameter query with a parameter criterion, enter room in the workshop type field. Oh, I had that right, so I do bracket, make sure I typed it right. Enter room, then bracket. That should be right. Run the query. Must have misspelt it last time or something, but this time we're fine. And then I'm going to type kitchen in here. So we're asking them to enter which room. Okay, add a criteria to the workshop attendance query. Select one of those records where the workshop date field value is greater than 420 zeros. So in this date field, come down here, we want greater than, greater than, and then we go 4/8/2017. And then we run the query, display it in datasheet view. Oh, I screwed that up. Let's try this again. Workshop date greater than 4/8/2017. Make sure I got that date right. It's in the workshop date field. I'll run that. No, I'm doing that. Oh, equal to, and I keep putting greater than. That's where I'm screwing up. So this just be equal to. I did that on another assignment back in Excel. It was greater than equal to, and I forgot the equal sign. 17, there we go, equals that. Now run it. I couldn't figure out why that wasn't working. Okay, add criteria to the workshop by type query. Select only those records where the cost per person value is greater than 20. So cost per person is this field. We're going to put greater than 20. Then we'll run it. With this open in design view, set the format property for the calculated revenue field to currency. So this field here, what we have to do is click on it. Then we have to go up here to property sheet, or we could right click here and go to properties, either one. And then in the format field, we have to hit this little down arrow key, and we want currency. Okay, add a criteria to workshop by select those records where workshop value is bathroom and Georgia. So on an AND query like this, AND deal, we want the Georgia. So in the state field, we have to put Georgia, and over here on the same level, we put bathroom. So we're saying it has to have bathroom and Georgia. Run that. We see it has about 6 deals. Now this next one's an OR criteria, so same deals, but this time we want it on 2 different lines. There's an OR line down here. And so we need to go down here, and this time we're going to put bathroom. Make sure I spell it right. So we should get a whole bunch more records because it's either bathroom or Georgia. And we did. We got a whole bunch there. In the query design view, the alpha list query, move the ID field to the 5th column. So they want this field here behind state. So I just highlight it and then let go. Now I click on it and just drag it over here behind state. Import the sponsor table from the vendor database into constructor add database. So what I do is go up here to external data. I'm going to import the sponsors table. So I'm going to import. So I go in here and go to from database from access. When I go to browse, I should find this vendors database. So I open that, and then Caption doesn't say anything about saving, so I just say OK, and then make sure I get the sponsors table, OK, and then just close. It didn't say anything about saving the steps. In query design view, the workshop tends to add a ascending sort order to the workshop name and last name fields. So workshop name field, we want to do this one ascending first, then last name, make sure you're in last name ascending. So we got to do it in that order when we run it. It sorts the last names within the workshop. With the workshop tends type query in design view, create and run a top value query to the top 5%. This is easy. So we just go up here, return, and we just tell it we want the top 5%. You have to be careful, not top 5, top 5%. So I did it twice and it screwed it up. So I go top 5%, and then I run it. Because I double clicked it twice, showing you, I messed it up. In query design by type query, create an outer join between the tables so that all the records, so what we have is a join here between these two, and when we double click this, it opens this up, and we want to do what's called an outer join, and that's the second one here. Say OK. In query design, the alpha list query, link the 2 fields using common workshop ID. So you just find the workshop ID here, you hold your mouse down, drag it right on top till it's on top of the other workshop ID. And that links the 2 tables by that field. Print the report. So this is easy enough. It has report open. I just go to File, Print, and do a quick print. Create a new select query using query design using the participant workshop table. So I go up here to create, and then query design. I need to add both tables. I can close that. And the workshop name. Okay, so what we want is the nickname field. And then we want the workshop name, workshop date, must be on down here. I should have expanded these down. There it is. Okay, fields from the workshop table, now I'll run the query. So that should do it. Now we need to save the query, so we go up here, save. We want to call this participants. Participant list. Don't put an S behind participants, so list, make sure you spell it right. Copy all the records from the sponsor table and paste them in the end of the deal. So to select all the records, we click here, and then we can right click here and copy this. Then we go to sponsors table, and we have to click on this little asterisk there, and then right click and paste. Tells you, yep, 5 records, you're pending them. Export this query, do not change the default, blah, blah, blah. So we go up here, external data, we want to make sure we're in the export side, and we're going to send it to Excel. Oh, what the heck happened there? Export the, oh, I didn't have the right one. I've got to make sure you got to have the right one before you ever do this. Make sure you have, so alpha list, I got to make sure what I'm exporting. Then I go to external data, go to Excel. Then it pops up here, so that is fine. I can go to browse with this. Dang it, can't go to browse there. Let me try this one more time. I'm only 5 times doing this. Click this, go to external data, go to Excel. This is fine. So you say okay. Oh, it killed me. And I had that one on the project too. It killed me. I did that wrong. Add a criterion to the workshop by type query to select owner's record. The max field is 25 and then run the query to select the deal. So max capacity field is greater than, equal to 25. With the workshop query, use the calculate fields that adds 5 to the cost per person. So when you use a zoom, we right click here, go to zoom. Then we need to name the field, so it's new cost. Then we put 2 colons. Then we're going to go 5 plus. Then in the field name, we have to put brackets. So I put a bracket, and the field name is cost per person. Make sure I spell it right. Person. And then bracket. So we're saying create this new field, and it's going to be 5 plus that field name. Now once we have that in there, it says as the name 0 and run the query. So I run it, and it worked. In the query design view of the workshop query, add a caption participant feed to the cost per person. So this cost per person field, we're going to right click here, go to properties. Up here in caption, we click caption. We type participant fee. Okay. I don't know if there's a space or no space there. Participant fee. I'm going to try without a space, and that worked. Add a total row to the workshop database. So the totals, all you have to do is hit here. We just have to decide is it total row to all this database. So yep, we just hit totals. In query design view of the workshop query, add the total row to the query grid. So over here, we need to right click down here and add a total. We'll just right click and total there. And finally, 30, add the alpha list custom query to the customers group. So we go to the alpha list query. We have to pull this little arrow down, and we have to go into groups. You remember how to do this. Object type, modified queries, report. It's custom, so I need to go to custom. Try to remember, filter by group here, okay. All access objects I've checked out. Didn't do that right. Alpha list query to the custom queries group. So that's right. This is right. So, query. What am I doing wrong there? I know I click on it. Pull this down. Oh, custom right here. I missed the frickin' step custom. Now, once I do that, I can go down and right-click Alpha Queries. So now I can say, right-click this and add to group, and there it is. Okay, view report. Pop up. I'm going to go see this one I missed. So report pops up. I'm not going to go do it. 97 is good enough for me. But what you can do, if you miss a couple, you can go in here and correct. And I go down and find this one incorrect. And what I can do is open up the training. And then I can go to practice. And it would have showed me how to do that. So once I go to practice, it takes me through the steps. It tells me what I did.
Selecting the object you want to export.
So that's what I didn't do the first time. Go to external data. Yeah, I did that. And then I went to Excel. Now this is where I was screwing up, and I should have checked that box. So now I know what I did. So to get out of this, I have to close it. I don't think it's going to let me out until I do it. And then click OK. And you can click on these to speed them up. And you can close that. Yeah. So then you see how I should have did that one. Okay, so anyway, hopefully that helped.